There was a sale that I had gone to for at least 2 times, and the lady had said that she would have games out the next time. I met her that time. She said that she only found one game, but she would definitely have more games when she had a sale in June. These were Nintendo games, and I knew that I had to get there. But there was also a community sale between her house and the last sale I went to. Decided to check out this sale. I figured that maybe the lady would have set aside those Nintendo games for me. I go around the sale, and like the second house I hit, I start asking about games, and the guy said he got like a Nintendo from somebody. He was talking about the blinking problem, and I told him he has to open it up and scrub out the pins with, alcohol. But he said, if I wanted any of these games, he'd be willing to sell them to me. So I picked out Ghosts and Goblins and 8 Eyes. This is a double for me, so is this one, but this one has a much better label. And for a game that people say is really hard, it gives you infinite continues. So, unless you're really like a scoreaholic, just notice this is a 5-screw. I just like to be able to get through games and beat them. So they also had another copy of GoldenEye on the N64, and like I said, I'm just tired of buying that damn game, so I passed on it. I went around this whole community sale, rounding the back end of it. It was like several streets, but whatever. There was a lady who said her daughter has a DS or whatever she might be willing to sell, and she had to go look for it or whatever. So I said, I'll continue going around the sales. I'll come back later. This will play into our story, just maybe a little bit, but I'm going around the sales, and pretty much now have this one portion of this last street I'm going to finish, going to every sale. And like an oasis in a desert, I see a boxed, complete Dreamcast launch box art. That's all I can say. It has the same box art as my launch system that I have. As I approach, I start noticing that there's just tubs of games, like PlayStation. I saw a Genesis sitting on the ground, a Game Gear, and then there were 2 things at this sale that I was just so happy to find. And I'm not talking about the Sega Saturn. Yep, I don't find too many Sega Saturns out in the wild, and I actually sold the last one I got. But yeah, the guy wanted $10 for the Sega Saturn. People really want to get rid of their stuff. They were selling them for someone else who had moved or something like that, but I never see Sega Saturn stuff, ever. No games, no systems. I've seen a Sega Saturn out in the wild maybe twice. First time I saw one, actually the controller port was busted and hanging out of the system. I didn't buy it then. Actually, there were games with the system that I didn't really know too much about the Saturn, but I don't think they were really that crazy. The second time I got my hands on a Sega Saturn, I actually did buy it. It was $10. It came with that, came with a Super Nintendo, came with a bunch of Super Nintendo games. So I'm crazy not to pass that one up. Controllers. I think this is a turbo pad for the Super Nintendo. There's an RF adapter for the Saturn, Sega Genesis controller, Sega Saturn pad, another turbo pad for the Genesis, more power adapters for the Genesis, and a Super Nintendo power adapter. This is what I was really excited to find. I'd say a pretty good copy of Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. Has everything but the game. Whew. Mail stuff. And this will go nicely. I don't like buying loose Game Boy games, I tell you. So anyways, I bought this at a yard sale last year, and now we are complete. And a little crushed, but something I didn't think it would just take forever to find, or never. Just a boxed copy of Sonic and Knuckles. Everything's in there, even the little sheet which tells you how you can buy all these cool things like Sonic and Knuckles sneaks. Oh man, if anybody bought this stuff, $20, $18 to $20, only sold at Payless. Oh, so you couldn't even order them? Oh wait, you could. Oh man, late fall 1994. I'm betting those are crazy expensive now. I remember when they were promoting this, they had like a tournament on, what was it? The prison in San Francisco. I can't remember what it's called. You know, the prison in San Francisco in the middle of the bay. Anything that was empty I could have for free, and a lot of stuff I actually got from this place for free. Found a box for a Game Boy, which would go probably really nicely with the Game Boy I picked up last week. Found a empty box and manual for Sonic the Hedgehog. That was pretty much all the Sega stuff I found. PlayStation wise is crazy. Okay, so check this out. Star Ocean. I'm only excited about this stuff because it's kind of rare. I'm not really that interested in it, but it's still crazy. Tales of Destiny. This is a rare game, people. This is like $100, $90 trilogy. Dreamcast games. Shadow Man. Nope, no manual for this one. Code Veronica. Resident Evil 2. Legend of Mana. Legend of Dragoon, Black Label, and oh my goodness, I'm so happy to find this. If you told me at the beginning of the summer that I would have found both these games reloaded on the PlayStation. The first Armored Core. And the only reason I picked up this game here is because it's still sealed and has that nice PlayStation label, and I don't know if it's expensive, but I figured I'd pick it up. Spec Ops Covert Assault. Vagrant Story, I mean, give me a break. And Metal Slug X. It's ridiculous. Bags and bags and bags. There's only 2 bags, but there's these bags here. I haven't looked through them at all. So we've got an Ocarina of Time manual, a Yoshi Story, or Yoshi's Island manual, a manual stuff for the Super Nintendo. Oh, I know what this is. Check this out. It's a little. This was a lot of the inserts they included in a lot of the. I guess a couple years after the Game Boy was released, they had these little mini posters, and this was one of the advertising Metroid 2. So that's pretty damn awesome. Let's see, we got a Game Boy manual. This is the manual for Pokemon, but no cover. Wait a second. Here's the cover. Let's see. Game Shark for the Game Boy manual. NBA Live 96. Some PlayStation manual, but no cover for Gex Enter the Gecko. Another Pokemon manual. This one in much better condition. Whew, cool. SG ProPad 2 manual. Tasmania manual. Rechargeable battery pack manual, or insert thing, poster for Sega. Oh, it's the Jurassic Park one. Nice. The next bag, I shouldn't be sad, but I saw this and I was hoping that I'd find the manual for the Game Genie on the Sega Genesis, but no Game Genie. I'd love to find a Game Genie on the Super Nintendo. Some ad for or N64 stuff at Blockbuster. It's like a hookup guide for a system, but what system? How to hook up your Super Nintendo. There's some guide on the back. It probably came with like a box system. A Batmobile from Batman Forever. Little toy instruction guide. Oh, there's a first. I don't have this one yet. An N64 manual. Man, I remember this stuff. You got points when you get subscription to Nintendo Power, and this you know, the store they have right now, when you get points for buying games, is nowhere near as cool as what it used to be. I mean, look at this crap that you could get. I mean, you still had to buy stuff. The subscription, and you could actually pay 4 points, whereas now you can't. But look at this, you could get a cool shirt or denim hat or denim shirts, totally 90s. A watch, stuff to carry around your N64 stuff. I mean, this is in the era where, I don't know, I didn't really like the N64 stuff, but you should have seen the stuff that was even before this. More Super Nintendo stuff that would go with the game, N64 stuff, and more inserts for N64 stuff, and the instructions for Trouble with the Pop-O-Matic bubble. It's fun getting into trouble. That's not all that I picked up here. So I was like, he was like 10 for the system, and you know, I was asking what he wanted for all the stuff, and I was like, would $20 be enough? And you know, while I'm there, the lady from the other sales has ridden her bike around the neighborhood to find me, and she's kind of like, you know, I'm waiting over here for you to come back. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm dealing with this guy, I'll be a little bit. She actually showed up twice during the sale. This is the first time. So anyways, he said sure, $20 for all that. Started looking at his PC games, and I found another copy of Ultima 7 Blackgate Complete. Has like, it's crazy, like how much stuff are in these like big box PC games. Mails and coins and what have you. I saw these two games here, and I was kind of thinking that they might be worth something. Just a giant box for Ultima 9 Dragon Edition and Baldur's Gate 2 Collector's Edition. And so I said, you know, I gotta go back to that lady. I'll think about getting these things. He said if you want them, they're only $1 each. I didn't know how much they were worth. Big box PC stuff is tending to go for a lot more these days, so yeah. I was like, if I want them, I guess I'll come back. I head back over to the lady I was talking about the DS before, and she comes out, and her daughter comes out, and she brings out a case, and it has a DSi and a DSi XL. And I think like 7 games or something like that, or 8 games. Anyways, to make a long story short, she wanted crazy money for this, not yard sale price money, like $50. And, you know, the mother was trying to, I guess, work the daughter down, but the mother was really trying to get me to buy this stuff, but the daughter was like, she knew how much stuff was worth, and she was like of the age, maybe 12 or something, where she wasn't just going to take anything, so you know, she pretty much was putting a $20, $30 price tag on the DSi, and I was like, you know, I only really want to pay like $20 and maybe get 2 or 3 games. And so anyway, she allowed me to pick out 2 games, so I picked out Pokemon Platinum and Mario 64 DS with some dog chew marks on it, courtesy of whatever their Schnauzer's name was, and a DSi Black. So this was $20. All that was $20, and this was $20. Ridiculous, right? So anyways, I go back. I had a feeling that these things would be worth something. I go back and I buy Ultima 9 and the Baldur's Gate Collector's Edition. Baldur's Gate 2 Collector's Edition. Crazy, right? This game here is $150. This game here is $150. I had no clue. I just figured they might be worth something. The guy was selling this for his friend, and I think the friend just kind of dumped all this stuff on him and said, hey, just sell it, whatever. He said, you know what, you can just have them for $1, right? I'm packing things up. My backpack's at capacity. Before I went to the sale, I had dumped everything off that I had gotten, like all the PS2 Slim and the Nintendo games, N64, and those manuals and stuff like that, at my place. Well, after this sale, I'm at capacity. I couldn't handle anymore. That's why these things are in bags. I really could not fit anymore. And so anyways, but when I was leaving, I saw that he had a manual for Final Fantasy VII. He actually had the game there too, but for some reason that was the only game there he wanted. He wanted $20 for his Black Label, sure, and it might have been worth, I don't know, maybe $30 now, but for some reason that was the only game he wanted like money for, and I wasn't gonna pay $20 for that thing. So I started looking at the guide, which said I could just have it. Like he just wanted to get rid of everything. I shit you not, guys. I didn't really want it, but he's like, you can have it as well. He gave me the Game Gear. Game Gear, some posters and manuals. Here's the battery cover, which is sliding around. Comes with Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2 manual. I'd love to have seen how that game turned out on the Game Gear. There we go, battery returns. Pretty sweet. What is this one? Let's unfold it. Oh, it's that shitty Joe Montana one again. So at this point, these bags are hanging off my handlebars. My backpack. It's like I'm carrying a small giant around my shoulders. And these things are kind of keeping me. I have to keep them on one handlebar each. You know, one bag on the right, one bag on the left, to keep myself pretty balanced. And I still had that sale with the Nintendo games. The lady who I pretty much have been courting at her yard sale for 3 or so times. Or this would have been the third time. So I went there, and so anyway, she comes out with the games eventually, and man, I told her that I didn't mean to string her along, but I wasn't interested in them. She brought out Dr. Mario, Slalom, Black Label, had the main Vegas Dream, which is Hal Lab's game. Pretty nuts, Kirby, you know. Oh, and Disney's Magical Adventure, the Magic Kingdom. After that, I wanted to go to this one sale in the town over, and visit the thrift stores, obviously, but my bag was at capacity, so I went home, let everything off, had some little lunch. By now I think it was 3 o'clock. So this is crazy, 3 o'clock, and I'm headed down to the town. They closed at 4, and I was there at like 3:45. And and they said they would be selling like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Wii, and other things. So I thought it was going to be just dead. Thought there was going to be nothing there. Surprisingly, there was a lot of stuff there, a lot of electronics. There was a big TV, has sold sticker on it though, but there was tons of, you know, there was an on live thing there, which is pretty cool. See, at a yard sale, I think it was like $30 or something. And just bins. They had like a bin like with games nicely stacked. I mean, it was like they were at a flea market place, and each one of them had it said $5 box, $10 box, and I think $15 or $20 box. Can't remember the exact. I started flipping through them, and a lot of these are like, you know, new titles: PS3, DS, 3DS, Vita, Xbox 360. Some of the games weren't even opened. He said, yeah, you know, I review games. It's like, oh, for like a magazine or something? No, it was from some newspaper, I can't remember. A sealed copy of Tales of the Abyss for the 3DS. I didn't even notice this was sealed. I picked it up because I thought maybe it might be worth something, you know? I don't know. I only noticed it was sealed when I got it home. Lock's Quest on the DS. This is always a title that I thought might be interesting, but, you know, I didn't want to put money towards. These were all in the $5 box, by the way. And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which again is an awesome game and holds its value. So, this obviously, these are all complete in really nice condition. This obviously would have been $15, and I said, you know, it's the end of your sale, do you think you could give me a good deal? And he said, how about $9, they said. And I was like, could you maybe knock off $1, make it $8? I always get comments from the mothers, but the mom's like, you're a really good negotiator. And there was like the whole family there, and the kid, the father was really in charge of selling everything, but I negotiated with the boy, who was probably in his, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, something like that. So the rest of it, they were just going to, they said that they were just going to drop off at GameStop and just take cash. So, because they were moving out of the country. Another family moving out of the country. I did go to the thrift stores after that, and I found a GameCube Platinum controller for $2, $1.99. I really don't know why I picked it up. I have an Orange Spice controller that I never sold when I had my own GameCube. I don't know why I kept it, but I'm pretty darn dry after all that, and it's, you know, my tongue's dried up. But yeah, you can see, this is June. This is June. And it's freaking crazy. So, I hope you guys all had a really successful weekend, just like I did. And I'm always looking forward to seeing what you guys pick up. And I mean, I wish I could do it, but I don't. I really would feel uncomfortable going around with the cameras. But I really enjoy, you know, seeing people going out and how they negotiate and seeing how they pick up stuff. So, yeah, have fun and get out there and get hunting.